Watching that, it's hard to believe that all that happened in one summer. If I wasn't here myself for every single second, I would not. But that's a great way to kick this off. Good morning, everyone. Great morning, everyone. My name is Kofi Coleman. I have the honor of serving as president and CEO of the Muny, but today I have the responsibility to be brief because you are here. I'm not the one to tell you what the show titles are, so I will quickly move on. Uh, I'm excited to welcome all of you in the room, our Muny partners, our Muny subscribers, our staff, our media friends. We're excited to connect with everyone online. It's the right camera for our 2023 season announcement. Today is the kickoff to the countdown to season 105. Yeah, that deserves applause. Absolutely. Our goal when we build each season is to make sure we put together a lineup that excites and engages our audience. That we've set up a summer that will be a thrilling journey for everyone. And that we have a lineup that will continue that tradition and build on that relationship we have with the community through our shows. I think we all agree that having the opportunity to gather together every year and create and experience something like this is truly a special gift. Building on the success from last season and with your help from the show survey, I know everyone filled out, some of you multiple times this past summer, we can tell. Um, we have built what I believe will be a season that you will love and celebrate. Simply put, it's a really good season, guys. I know I'm biased, but it is. But the only way we can confirm that is for me to get off this stage and for you to hear these titles. So let me welcome executive producer and artistic director Mike Isaacson to give you the 2023 lineup.
Thank you. Yeah. Hi. Oh, so professional already, right? It's so good to see everybody. Welcome. For people who are watching online, we've got about 50, 60 people here in the room, and we're going to talk about the 2023 season. Also I was in New York last week doing a bunch of whole pre-pro for this season, and true story, I could not walk in Midtown without running into somebody from the Muny family who was so excited, and people are struggling to guess the titles, and good luck when Eric talks to you about that. But just people so engaged and thrilled to be part of this amazing institution that has 105 glorious years around it. It's truly beautiful. There's a hint. And also for everybody who's watching, hi gang, because believe me, every actor, everyone's like, okay, what are they doing? Is there a part for me? I want to begin by acknowledging, like, this is such a family of artists and craftsmen and musicians and designers who all support each other. And for everybody who's been backstage at the Muny, I want you to know that today has been run by, we've got Tim, Todd, Sean, and James who are here, which are our crew heads who make extraordinary magic happen for us. And you all know what we went through last summer, to be flooded out one day and to have a show the next night. We still don't understand how it happened. Yeah, please, please, these extraordinary men are here. And I really want to honor our new marketing director, Eric Pugh, who came up with the idea of this event and all of us celebrating together. I keep moving the camera, which is this really odd thing. Okay, I'm supposed to be on the X. So Kofi kind of alluded to this, a season. What is a season? And you know, the thing, there is no formula. And what I hope for those incredible group, our subscribers, our most loyal 24,000 in St. Louis who are backbone in our hearts and have been a part of this for generations. It is a great adventure. It's like a great feast, a great meal. You have an appetizer, you have a main course, you have a dessert. You know, like something that you walk away from the 7 shows and it's just full and human and rich and beautiful. And also, you know, there's something for everybody. I hope that when you see the final lineup, anybody, whoever you are in St. Louis, you look at that and go, oh, I know I want to see that one, you know? And that's exciting because you can never forget, never ever forget, the Muny was first and foremost a civic idea, an idea of gathering, an idea of community, an idea of participation and openness for everybody. Okay, I'm gonna be professional, throw that on the floor. Interesting of this season, like I said, there's no formula. But Eric called it the premiere season because I've been here. This is my 12th season, and this is the 4th season where 4 of the 7 shows are Muny premieres. And interesting enough, 6 of the 7 shows were in the top 10 of the survey. So it's robust. Okay, I sort of tipped it off. Let's begin. We're going to open our season with the Muny premiere of Beautiful, the Carole King musical. Um, Hopefully you know who Carole King is. She factually was the most successful female songwriter of the last half of the last century by far. She literally was the writer or co-writer of 118 top 10 hits. Her contribution to our lives, our memories, and our stories, it's just remarkable. The show covers her life from 1958 to 1971 and talks about her understanding of her talent, her growth, her very complicated marriage, and her partnership, her songwriting partnership with Barry Mann and Cynthia Weil. And it's an extraordinary story. And this is a true story. This show was created for Broadway by my predecessor, Paul Blake, here at the Muny. It was directed by Mark Bruni, who's done all kinds of Muny shows. And I was told that in his final years here, many of the early different like actors sitting around the table reading scripts took place in this very room where you're sitting right now. What a full circle moment. Let's see what else we have to say about that. Some of the songs you're gonna know them. You've got a friend. One fine day. Will you love me tomorrow? I feel the earth move. I mean, oh come on. All right. So it's gonna be a great way to open it. We open on June 12th. So the next one up is let's go. It's gonna be our 4th Muny production, our first time in 8 years. Sorry, hit it, Todd. Disney's Beauty and the Beast. Sort of fun fact. So the last time we did this show was in 2015, 8 years ago. And if you think about it, with this show, probably 40% of the audience wasn't even born yet. The big family show, as we call it, is a beautiful, great Muny tradition. It is the way where we say to the new generation, come in, we've got something to share with you. This was Disney's first Broadway musical, and we know what they've gone on to create. They started last night, they celebrated the 25th anniversary of Lion King. The music is by Alan Menken, the book was by Howard Ashman, and the film script by Linda Wolverton. Just extraordinary, extraordinary, beautiful story. And what's great is, and I hope you saw this last year with Mary Poppins compared to when we did it in 20 whatever, our glorious new stage is just giving us so many fantastic opportunities for magic and beauty and everything we hope to do. But the power of these are, really the community invitation in this moment where grandparents are with parents and grandkids. And I do have a story to tell. The first time I did it in 2005, I brought my then 4-year-old niece, and she loved the movie. And I said, "Well, we're going to go to this place. It's called the Muny. It's outside." And she was like, "Oh, okay, whatever." And we go, and she's looking around, and why are all these people sitting there? And she's in her seat, which a 4-year-old means she's under the seat, she's around the seat, she's eating popcorn, she's all thing. And suddenly the music starts, and she's like, "What?" And she just stared at the stage. And I'm just watching her, and she's like, and she knows the music and that. And suddenly, out came Belle with the book, and she was like, and she jumped up, and she's looking around, she's looking at everybody, and she's like, and suddenly she goes at the top of her voice, "There's Belle!" As if we weren't aware. And I love this story because it points to what the gift is we can give the kids. And so I hope if you've never been to the Muni and you've got kids or grandkids, come see Beauty and the Beast. Okay, next up, um, and this is really exciting because we've literally been working on this for 4 years. And I'm going to do a preamble. I hope you know this, but maybe you don't. That St. Louis is an international center for chess. It is the home to the St. Louis Chess Club and I got to get it right, the World Chess Hall of Fame. Um, and as we sit here, very often in the chess club, there are people playing chess, and people are watching it literally from around the world. Each year during the Singfield Cup, and if you paid attention this year, it got quite a lot of attention. The world is watching St. Louis. So a couple of years we began, and I was just in awe of what this was. And a couple of years ago, we began a conversation about a partnership because this year we're now finally going to have the Muny premiere of Chess, the musical. And I can tell you right now, there are screams around the country because this is a musical that is not well known, but it is loved. So let's give the history. In 1984, the two guys from ABBA, Benny and Bjorn, if you don't know ABBA, the guys who wrote Mamma Mia, and Tim Rice, as of Rice and Weber, Jesus Christ Superstar, Evita, everything, wrote a musical based on a Cold War chess musical, a chess tournament. And typical of that era in the 80s, like Superstar and Evita, they first released it as an album. Remember albums? And this thing became a worldwide phenomenon. And it had a #1 pop hit. You might remember One Night in Bangkok. And then there was a duet that was very popular, I Know Him So Well. And this thing ran for 3 years in London. And then they brought it to Broadway. And they made a mistake and changed all the book. And it didn't last that long. But it remained this amazing cult musical. So for years, there's been this love and adoration. It's done in concerts. PBS has done it on concert. You can see it beautiful. We're going to use the original London script here at the Muny, which I'm very excited about. And we're just going to give it a premiere. And ironically, in this period as we've been talking about, I'm looking at my colleague from the chess club who's here somewhere. Um, the Queen's Gambit went on Netflix, was watched by 62 million people, and chess is now crazy popular. So I'm really, really excited about this one. All right. Next up, I'm sorry, that's July 5th through July 11th. Next up, when you talk about a classic musical, this is probably number 1, 2, 3 on the list. Let's show it to him, Todd. The Return of West Side Story. Yeah. This is our first production in a decade. It is our 9th Muny production. And the first was 60 years ago in 1963. So if you think of the generations of St. Louisans who have experienced this show, and one of the things I learned very early on that's so remarkable about this audience, when we do the classics, when people come and sit down, um, not only do they remember, obviously, the show, but they remember their experience of being here before and who they were with and who was a part of that. And we get these beautiful bookmarks in our lives. Now, I am a little bit biased. You may have known this, and I believe that musical theater remains this country's great gift to the world and world culture. And I think we're still in our first 100 years of this form. It's beautiful and still being explored, but I think there are certain works. Ironically, this one's based on Shakespeare, but they are like Shakespeare. This will be performed forever, and I think everyone should see it once a decade, which is a little crazy, but I really truly believe that because it's music by Leonard Bernstein, lyrics by Stephen Sondheim, book by Arthur Lawrence, based on Romeo and Juliet. Um, and I think one of the things that happens is as you continue your journey through life and you see these things, you do discover new things that you did not hear or see the last time you saw it, new understandings. I think that's what makes a great work. And I actually wrote down, I looked at my notes from the last time we did it, and the line that really struck me from that production, I haven't quite really heard before, is when Doc says, "Why do you kids live like there's a war on?" And at the point I was in my life, I thought, that's really hitting me. So I also say to everybody, if you've never seen West Side Story, you think, oh, that's something you've done. No, stop, get here, and see West Side Story. Okay, next up, the return of the fourth Muny production. Let's have a little wicked comedy, Little Shop of Horrors. The last Muny production was 12 years ago. This is the 40th anniversary of the original off-Broadway premiere. There's currently a production running, a very successful production running off-Broadway right now for over a year. Again, those geniuses, Alan Menken, Howard Ashman, if you know anything of the history of musical theater, this was actually the show that all the Disney executives saw and went, hey, maybe we should get into film musicals and create this whole new, really 6 8 masterworks. And their first was Beauty and the Beast, that created a whole new generation of musical theater lovers. You know, it is basically Faust with a plant. Be careful what you wish for. And I know the question you're asking, yes, we are working on the biggest, most amazing plant we can get on that stage. There have been several meetings already, and a glorious, glorious song score. You may remember from our Muny Variety show, we featured Rob McClure and his wife Maggie singing Suddenly Seymour, Somewhere That's Green. It's just a really, really fun night. Comedy with a bite, huh? Get that? All right. Next up, this is the show that I've been asked about most in the last 12 years. Whenever I can see some shaking in the back from somebody who knows it. Um, it's really, really exciting, and I'm thrilled to announce here we are finally the Muny premiere of Rent, August 4th to 10th. This is the Pulitzer Prize winning and Tony Award winning and life changing and musical of a generation. It ran 12 years on Broadway. It was the late Jonathan Larson's masterpiece. If you have not seen Tick Tick Boom on Netflix to see Jonathan Larson's story, I really recommend you do that to sort of get the background of this. But in the I don't know, in the industry, there's certain shows that come along every once in a while, and they're comets. They land in our lives, and they just become of who we are. And this show in 1996 was a life force of unparalleled beauty. As you probably know, it was based on Puccini's La Boheme, and the basic idea is a group of artists facing life and community and friendship in the time of the plague. It's in La Boheme and it's in Rent. And I think it's really interesting for this show now to arrive for us, as all of us, as I believe, mostly coming through this pandemic and what we've all experienced, of how we took care of each other and how we responded and what's on stage. And this music is glorious, and the energy. And the other thing about Rent is no matter who you are, it makes you feel young. It explodes with the joy of possibility, and I can't wait to see it on our stage. So that's Rent. And then finally, we're going to close out this season with, let's go, Todd. Who doesn't love a dancing nun, right? We all love dancing, singing nun, particularly when it's to disco tune, right? I mean, that feels necessary as close of the season. Sister Act was a surprise, hilarious, delicious 1992 film starring Whoopi Goldberg. Became a Broadway musical in 2011. I think it's, here, get ready for this. It's a heavenly way to end the season. Did you get that? See, heavenly ties in. Yeah. Yeah. And it's a really funny show. It's a really funny show. And yes, we will have a lot of nonsense here. So I think it's really a joyous show, too. I think that's something that our stage and musicals can create is true joy, where you as this human sit there and go, why am I feeling like an 8-year-old? But this show is one of those shows that does it. So now let's show the entire season. Here we go, 2023. Beautiful. Beauty and the Beast, Chess, West Side Story, Little Shop of Horrors, Rent, and Sister Act. Yeah, yeah. Great. Um, Here's how I would like to end. It- uh, you know, the Muny has such a powerful and rich history. It is a big idea. It is always changing. Just when I think I understand it, it reveals something new, either from the audience or the people we're working with, or um, but last summer I was extraordinary in the engagement in the audience, given everything, us coming back in the full 7 shows and being a part of it, and us recognizing the incredible gift that this is. And at the end of the season, there was a local writer who did sort of a think piece on the whole thing. It was in the RFT. It was kind of buried and lost. And he, he wrote something where I was like, "Oh yes, this is the essential greatness of the Muni. Here it is." And I just want to close by reading this quote to you. Let's put it up there, Todd. The Muni is much more than that, though, not only because these performers on stage and in the orchestra pit are some of the most talented folks alive, but also because uniting more than 10,000 people to watch theaters outdoors is an act of spiritual fellowship that goes back to the ancient Greeks. You become part of the performance simply by being present at it. And when you are flanked by scores of cheering theatergoers, enraptured by every word being uttered and sung on stage, your power is manifold. That is the Muni, and that's going to be the Muni 2023. And now I'm really happy to turn it over to Eric, who's got all sorts of important information for you. There we go. Eric Pugh.
Thank you, Mike. Now that is an incredible season, right? I mean, amazing. For all of you in the room, I heard some conversations beforehand about the teasers that were out there and how hard they were. If you're watching online, leave in the comments how many you got right. And we will be posting a little later today what those teasers were and what they meant. Um, so there's a lot of ways to get involved in the 2023 Muni season. Whether you're an usher, you're an audience member, a Muni Young Friend, which I see some in the audience, or whether it's through our education program or starring on our stage. So I'm going to go through a few dates. I'm going to read so I don't mess them up, of important dates to put in your calendar this year. First up, we're going to start with auditions. The New York audition dates for required equity principal auditions and equity chorus call for singers will take place in person, which is new this year after a couple of years of being virtual. Those will be in New York Wednesday, January 11th through Friday, January 13th. St. Louis auditions for resident non-union actors will be Wednesday, January 25th. For equity auditions here in St. Louis, those will be Thursday, January 26th. The equity course call for dancers and our famous audition weekend here at the Muny will be here at the Muny again on February 4th and 5th. All St. Louis based auditions again are held here at the Muny. For all the Muny young kids or Muny teens and kids out there, I know they're waiting on audition dates. Those submissions virtually will be due for kids Friday, January 20th, and for teens Friday, February 3rd. For more detailed information on auditions, please visit muny.org/auditions. Gift cards for the season that you just saw are available now online. And new this year, you will be able to select a show card that you want, if you know a rent it as they're called, in your family for Christmas. You'll be able to get a rent card for them or a season subscription. But you might want to wait just another week and a half, because we are going to do a Black Friday gift. This gift grab, for every $200 that you spend, you will get $15 back for yourself. So that favorite couple of yours that you're going to buy a season subscription for, you basically will get to come see a Muni show for free. Also, two lucky gifters on that day will receive an additional $200 gift cards for themselves. This is available only online at muny.org on Black Friday. Renewals for season subscribers will be out in the mail in a couple weeks. Season tickets for new subscribers will be Monday, March 20th. Single tickets, sorry, Monday, May 22nd. For other ways to be involved during the 2023 season, check our website for current opportunities. Additional dates such as intern and usher submission dates will be announced tomorrow on our social media page and on our website. Oh, I'm hearing myself back. Thanks, Max. And again, our 2023 season is there. Uh, Thank you for joining us today here in person and online. We hope you're as excited as we are, and we hope to see you for the 2023 season. Thank you.